Okay, sorry if this hurts your feelings, but you've been so focused on the scoreboard that you're not even playing the fucking game. Okay, take care of the inputs and the outputs automatically take care of themselves. Hello humans, and welcome back to another episode of RD2H Road to Happiness, building our dream realities. So this week's episode, take care of the inputs and the outputs take care of themselves. And this is something that I am struggling with because I am so concerned with all of these things in my life that I have literally zero control over, and letting the thoughts spiral to the point where I'm unable to take care of the inputs. And guess what? Things compound in this life. They compound every single day. Every good time you do a good habit, it compounds towards a bigger goal. And every time you spiral in negativity and every time that you do a bad habit, it compounds into a deficit. And just like when you are working on a goal and you are doing the little things that you need to do to get to that goal, and you're like, it doesn't feel like it's happening. It feels like nothing is happening, and then it all happens at once. Same thing happens with the deficits. It feels like you're not doing anything negative, and then everything collapses at once. You just realize that you're in a fucking hole, and you're like, how did I even get here? And it didn't happen overnight. It's compounding bad habits. So I found myself in a hole recently where I was like, whoa, hold up. I need to remember who the fuck I am. Okay, I moved to LA. I work at the largest investment firm in the United States. I am by myself, getting myself to my best version. I'm documenting it through a podcast series. I am that bitch. How could I forget who the fuck I was? So guess what? I remembered. It took me running for 2.5 fucking hours in the rain to remember who the fuck I was, but we got there. And honestly, again, a growth moment, because I've never found myself in a deficit and got myself out of it as fast as I did this time. So that is growth and improvement right there. Usually you find yourself in a deficit and you're feel like you have no control. So that no control makes you feel like you're spiraling. It makes you feel depressed. It makes you feel like you're hopeless. And then you're unable to do anything to put yourself in a better situation. You're unable to focus on the inputs. So a big lesson that I am teaching myself right now is that I cannot control outputs. I cannot control where life is going to bring me tomorrow, but the outputs are a direct reflection of your daily inputs, and everything compounds. Bad things compound, good things compound, and I can't focus on the bigger picture because I have to focus on the inputs that are gonna get me there, and it's inevitable. The only way this ends is with me fucking winning, okay? And the second I stop believing that is the second I stop fucking winning. So the only way this ends is with me winning. So why am I focused on what's going to happen a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Why am I focused on that when if I focus on today's inputs, tomorrow's outputs take care of themselves? So that is what I'm trying to teach myself right now, is that you don't have control over a lot of in this life, but if you take control over what you do have control over, you'll realize you have control over everything in this life. So the first step to taking control is deciding that you're gonna do what it takes to take fucking control, whether that be the first small step or, just completely shifting your fucking identity. Whatever you need to do, you are helpless unless you decide that you are going to help yourself, because nobody's going to get that dream for you. Nobody's going to run those miles for you. Nobody is going to come save you, and it's actually kind of ridiculous for you to expect somebody to come save you. That's not their job. It's not anybody's job to come save themselves. Most people barely have their own shit together. You want them to come take care of your shit? I mean, come on. They're barely doing it for themselves. So that's where our downfall in our relationships come in. Our downfall in the expectations we have on the people in our life is that we're unable to carry our own load in the moment, and so we want somebody else to come carry it for us. And everybody falls into it. I'm human. I fell into it recently where I was like, I just really want somebody so I'm not in the trenches by myself. But then I came to the real, yeah, so my camera died and then it got dark, so we are back inside. But yeah, so I came to the realization that I don't need saving. I, for a temporarily moment, was like so overwhelmed that it didn't feel like there were any options. And I was like, it would be really nice to have somebody come carry a little bit of this weight with me. But to put that on another person is a burden. It's not their responsibility. And anybody who comes into your life should be adding to your life. They should not be necessary for you to operate in your life. And to get to that point where everybody is overfilling your cup and they're not your cup, you have to be able to carry everything by yourself. And then, you know, shift into the era where you are, you know, capable of kind of leaning on somebody. But if you're, you know, wanting somebody in your life simply to save you or to help you, you're actually creating a giant deficit for yourself. I think everybody should have a period in their life where they're alone, because it teaches you how to be self-sustainable, so that way when people are in your life, they add to that cup. So going back onto the inputs versus outputs, everybody wants the outputs, right? Everybody wants the nice car. Everybody wants the nice body. Everybody wants the money. Everybody wants the relationship and the perfect life. But, or the designer clothes or the shoes or whatever it is that, you know, you think is a status symbol or you think is going to bring you happiness. It is the symbol of happiness. But happiness comes from like doing the work to get there, if that makes sense. Like we focus so much on these symbols of success, like the new car, the dream body, the perfect relationship. But those are just the outputs to the inputs. And the inputs are what actually brings you fulfillment and success. Building something from scratch and putting your heart and soul into it and building that startup, building that business, which gives you the outcome of a ton of money, but it's just the outcome to the input of you building, which is what brings you fulfillment. The nice body, it's great, but you see a million skinny hot girls who are fucking depressed. Why? Because they're doing it for the output. They're doing it for the nice body, to show status, to impress other people. But in reality, the nice body is just a symbol of you taking care of your health, of you regulating your body and moving and using exercise as an antidepressant. It is a freaking output to the inputs that are actually fulfillment and happiness. So I've been focused so much on the output. I want, you know, financial stability. I want this to be the best in this career. I want, you know, all of these things that I want, you know, and they are the outputs. They are the result to me not quitting. They are the result to this season. They are the result to the inputs I'm putting today will get me the outputs I'm looking for tomorrow. And by overlooking the importance of today and hyper analyzing on tomorrow, I'm missing the journey. I'm missing the fulfillment that comes from constantly improving. I'm missing the fulfillment that comes from seeing, you know, your baby, my business right now, seeing it grow. Seeing, like, it's literally a little child, and I'm so excited for it to be 18 and move out of the house and do something with its life that I'm not, you know, cherishing the toddler years, even though if there are a lot of mental breakdowns within the toddler years. I think that was a perfect analogy and made perfect sense, because there are breakdowns. There are breakdowns in growing phases. There are breakdowns in building phases. There are breakdowns. But if you're not cherishing the toddler years of you building your dream reality and you're only focused on the output, you're never going to get there. And when you do get there, it's not going to feel like everything you thought it would. It's not going to feel like finally you made it. There's no one day where you finally make it. It's a constant progress of becoming the version of yourself you want to be, and the outputs just naturally come. So I've been so focused on the outputs that I'm not, you know, I'm paralyzed when it comes to inputs. And I've noticed that as well. I have a few friends that are, you know, struggling right now. And I know somebody who's struggling with obesity and depression. And for example, Exercising is the number one antidepressant. You literally cannot argue with that. I am pretty skinny. I'm pretty fit. I could go my whole life without working out and I wouldn't feel any type of way about my body. At least right now, I'm 23, so it hasn't hit me. But if I don't run, my mind spirals. I get depressed. I get anxious. I get lost and I get trapped in my mind, which I found out recently when I waited until I literally hit a tipping point to start running my miles again. Exercising is the biggest antidepressant ever. But when you find yourself in such a big deficit, it feels like you can't do it. You feel helpless. You feel like you can't take that first step. And allowing that deficit to compound and compound and compound, that leaves us in this depressive hole where we feel like we have no control and we have no ability to get ourselves in a better position. But it's the little steps, the daily inputs that over time compound and get us into that better position that we're looking for. When our brain neglects small tasks for long enough, they seem impossible. But there is a solution I have found to every single problem in this life. Most of the solutions are not hard per se, but they are reoccurring. And our brain hates consistency. And the way out of every single problem that we have in our life is consistency. Consistently not texting that dude back. Consistently going to the gym. Consistently eating right. Consistently working on your goals. Consistently, doing whatever you need to do. One big push of, inspiration isn't going to get you to where you want to be, but consistently doing a little bit every single day for months will leave you in a brand new position. And you won't even notice it until you wake up one day and you're like, wait, look how far I've fucking come. And so consistency is the hardest skill to learn, but it is the number one trait that will get you where you want to go. By focusing on the inputs, focusing on what you have to do today to put yourself in a better situation tomorrow so that you can wake up in 6 months and be in a completely different reality than you're in right now. And that is a hard lesson to learn when you're only focused on the dream body and you're not focused on the 1 minute plank you have to do right now. So I am learning and trying to teach myself right now that I can't control a lot of my life. I have no control over right now in this moment. But I have control over what's going to happen 6 months from now, what's going to happen a year from now, what's going to happen a year and a half from now by controlling what I do today, because it compounds over time. And nobody's coming to save you. Like I said earlier, I'll say it again, nobody is going to run those miles for you. Nobody is going to get you out of that depression. Nobody is going to start eating right for you. Nobody is going to start working towards your dream career for you. Nobody is coming to save you. They might come to take some pressure off, to bring you good times, but if you are waiting for somebody to come do it for you, then you're never going to get it. If you want something in this life, you have to get the fuck up and fight for it. And that's another topic that it brings me right into. We get nowhere in this life if we don't fight. If you don't have some ounce of spirit in you to put up the good fight to get what you want, nobody can do it for you. Nobody can make you say, I don't want to live this life anymore, and I am going to do something to change it. If you let yourself, you will just continue to live the same life for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And then you'll be on your deathbed and you'll be like, wow, I have so many regrets. Because you're choosing comfortability today over progress tomorrow. And so nobody is going to come save you. Nobody's going to get your dream life for you. And if you decide that you don't have the fight in you to fight for yourself and to fight for what you want and to get the fuck up and go grab it, because the world is up for grabs. On my life, bro, the world is up for fucking grabs. The question is, are you going to grab it, or are you going to let the dude next to you fucking grab it? Because it's who wants it more. You have to fight for it. You have to go get it. You have to just decide, I'm going to grab it. And I don't care what it's going to take. I'm going to get it. But that takes inputs. That takes small inputs consistently every single day, learning so many life lessons that you're like, when are the life lessons going to end? And they don't. But you keep getting stronger, and everybody's looking at you like, how are you doing it? And the answer is, you're just trying. You're trying, and you're not giving up. You're fighting for yourself. So for me right now, it's that I gotta let go of trying to control my life. I gotta let go of trying to figure everything out that doesn't have an answer right now. Time will tell. And I have to start focusing on what can I do today? Am I doing these small things that I know are going to compound over time to get me to where I want to be? Am I focusing on the inputs and not focusing on the outputs? Because I've been so focused on the scoreboard lately that I'm incapable of playing the fucking game. I'm paralyzing myself, and I'm incapable of, moving the needle and progressing because I'm so focused on the what ifs and the things I don't have control over, that I'm not taking control over what I do have control over. And that is a power, to be able to say, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know where I'm going to end up. But I'm strong enough that wherever the fuck I do end up, I know that I'm going to be able to deal with it. Okay? And I'm strong enough that whatever situation life throws me in, I will do what I can today to make tomorrow a little bit better. To put myself in the best position for tomorrow. And so I need to be focusing on the inputs and letting the outputs take care of themselves. Focusing on the amount of calls I make, and the amount of calls I make is a direct correlation to the amount of people I talk to. Focusing on the amount of miles that I run, and the amount of miles that I run is a direct correlation to the peace I have in my mind, as well as a direct correlation to how good I look in the mirror. Not by focusing on the perfect body, but focusing on, can I push a little bit harder today? Not focusing on the $1 million I want to make, but can I talk to one more owner today? That might put me in just a slightly better position to have a possibility of closing a deal. Everything in life is a probability game. Are you putting yourself in the most probable circumstances to get to what you want? Are you doing the things necessary to give yourself the highest probability to get to who you want to be? And if you're not, then why are you upset that you're not who you want to be? Nobody's gonna go get it for you. You have to get up, do the work, and give yourself the most likeliness to becoming who you want to be. I'll take it to a religion standpoint too, because you know me, I love God. God will steer the boat, but if you're not fucking rowing it, and if you're not putting the work in, the boat's not going to go anywhere. Like, he will steer the boat. He will bring the wave to get you to the destination, but you have to row the fucking boat. You have to put the work in, and everything that's out of your control, he will bring in your favor and get you to the destinations you want to get to. But what's in your control is still in your control. And there is a lot of things in our life that is in our control that we are not taking accountability for, myself included. And so, yeah, that is this week's episode. Focus on the inputs. Focus on what you're doing today. Focus on what's going to compound, what's going to give you the best probability to get to who you want to be tomorrow. And let tomorrow take care of itself. Let the outputs, let the dream job, let all the symbols and status and outcomes of success just be the inevitable result of your growth. Everything that you're working towards is an inevitable result of you focusing on your growth journey and focusing on becoming the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself already has all of that stuff, because they've learned the lessons you're learning right now. So instead of focusing on the outcomes and focusing on the dreams and the goals and what, the best version of yourself has, focus on the growth. And when you're so focused on the growth, you're inevitably going to become the best version of yourself. And when you're inevitably the best version of yourself, you have all of the things that, you're working towards, that you're capable of holding, that you're not right now. So that is my lesson for the week. I need to be less focused on what I want and more focused on my growth journey. And in working through my growth journey, what I want will be inevitably mine. So, love you guys. See you for another episode. RD2H, Road to Happiness, building our dream realities. Let's go.